Let's go back to South Sudan and that massacre of civilians in the northern oil town of Bentiu. We're joined on the line from Juba by Toby Lanza. He's the Assistant Secretary General for the United Nations. Toby, good to have you back with us. I'm hoping that we can hear you better this time. You were describing for us just what happened in Bentiu.
Yes, I've just come back from Bentiu. I was there for 24 hours, went around town quite extensively. Pretty clear to us now that whether people were trying to stay safe inside churches or mosques or school buildings or the hospital, they were very deliberately targeted, questioned, what is your identity? And if it was the wrong one, they were executed. And this has also affected a considerable number of people who were there as traders from Darfur, so Sudanese citizens. People from Darfur whose sole task there was to help run the market. And it's quite atrocious what I've been exposed to in many parts of the city. Even 3 days after the worst of it has ended, there were still piles of bodies on street corners near the market. And of course, we've had to go public on this and call for a full investigation and full accountability for those who are responsible.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the pictures of some of the scenes that you've undoubtedly seen. I mean, some of our pictures are too graphic even to broadcast. And what is even more appalling about this is that apparently the local radio station was used to broadcast hate comments with people from one community being urged to attack or rape people from another community.
I think this is the most troubling development in what we've seen as a very quick unraveling of the situation in South Sudan. Hard to believe that just 4 months ago the country was at peace and we were all talking about development, and what we're facing now is 7 million people who are at the risk of hunger, who are already towards that edge where they simply can't fend for themselves. This month, April, May, absolutely crucial for the planting season for people to fend for themselves. And if we lose that opportunity, and with hate speech and with violence in places such as Bentiu, Bor, Malakal, etc., at least in those major areas of the country, people won't be able to fend for themselves, and we're going to have an even greater catastrophe on our hands by the end of this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is all born out of this this dispute between the president and the vice president and the government against fighters loyal to Riek Machar. They've now all split. I mean, it's a very, very complex picture. What is happening to try and to bring about reconciliation and to stop massacres like this happening again?
Well, I think there's a lot ongoing behind the scenes, and of course officially in Addis Ababa the talks have stalled for the time being. It's imperative that they get up and running. I think we need enlightened messaging from the leaders, all leaders here in the country, because, you know, as I left Bentiu today, I think the saddest testament to the situation is that you had members of all communities, including the communities who have allegedly perpetrated these crimes, who were fleeing to the United Nations base. Our base had just 5,000 people in it a week ago, 12,000 a couple of days ago. This morning, we were up to nearly 22,000 people. We've got 1 litre of portable water per person for today. People are on the edge, they are dying, and it's imperative that the leaders of this country recognize the crisis into which they've plunged their nation, and they're going to have to do everything possible to reconcile their differences, not by the barrel of the gun. Seek peace so that we can get South Sudan into the viable state project that it was in just 4 months ago.
Toby, it is a grim picture. Thank you very much indeed for speaking with us. Toby Lanza there, the Assistant Secretary General for the United Nations.